Hi, I'm Shanna.
And I'm Bailey.
Welcome to the Math Dive in 5 for Compare and Order Numbers Place Value for 4th grade. So here's your first task. I want you to pause the video, complete the task on your own or with a team or partner. So basically what you're going to do is solve the two tasks that are on the screen and think about what would student learning need to look like for students to be successful with these tasks. So the progression with BEST for place value is we're reading and writing numbers, composing and decomposing 4-digit numbers, and plotting, ordering, and comparing whole numbers all up to 10,000 in 3rd grade. In 4th grade, we're reading and writing numbers from 0 to 1,000,000 using those same forms, plotting, ordering, and comparing up to 1,000,000. And in 5th grade, we're also reading and writing numbers with decimals to the thousands, composing and decomposing within that same limit, and also plotting, ordering, and comparing multi-digit numbers with those decimals.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, I see a lot of things are being repeated, but the main difference between 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade is the numbers. So in 3rd grade, we're going up to 10,000, 4th grade, we're going up to 1,000,000, and then in 5th grade, we're including those decimals.
Exactly. A lot of the same concepts repeated, it's just to different limits. And then in this unit, we're going to be focusing on plotting, ordering, and comparing multi-digit whole numbers up to 1,000,000. So here are some strategies that we're going to talk about in the upcoming slides in detail. We're going to start with those concrete models using base 10 blocks to represent numbers within 1,000, and then extend it up to 1,000,000 using those place value discs.
And once students are able to represent and compare numbers using those concrete tools, they should move to comparing and ordering numbers using the provided scaled number lines as well as open number lines.
And then we're also going to be moving it to that abstract and recording those comparison statements using the greater than, less than, and equal to symbols.
So really what we just kind of broke down was the CRA representation of what should be happening in this unit of plotting, ordering, and comparing numbers.
Exactly, and we're going to look more in detail in that in the upcoming slides. So we want to spend some time comparing and ordering whole numbers with base 10 models. A lot of times in 4th grade, we feel like the kids are past using the base 10 blocks because they've done it before, but we want to make sure this is still our starting point and using it with smaller numbers. Base 10 blocks with place value mats are a great strategy to use to start this unit.
If you look at the screen, you can see there's a place value mat with the base 10 model. And so this place value mat really helps them organize and break down their number by place value so that they're then able to compare them using the comparison symbol.
Yep.
Students should also be practicing ordering numbers in ascending and descending order.
So now we're moving into comparing and ordering with place value discs. This is really important to be able to still represent those greater numbers using these discs because base 10 blocks have a limit. We can use the representation to determine if the numbers are greater than, less than, or equal to one another. And you can represent multiple numbers on a place value mat to help you organize that information.
So if you take a look on the screen and we're looking at these two different numbers and we look at the place value, we want to look at the greatest place value first, but we notice that there's no difference. It's the same value. So we have to go to the next place value. Again, no difference. So we go to the third place value or the hundredths place, and we can see clearly that one of them has more place value discs than the other, and we can extend that knowledge and now write a comparison statement with our numbers.
So now we're moving into comparing with number lines. We want to provide scaled number lines for students to use when representing these whole numbers.
It's also important to remember that students may need that initial support to determine the range of the given number, and they need support to determine the two endpoints and the midpoints to help them plot their number.
And then from there, once the students have located where that number needs to go on the number line, they can compare the two numbers with greater than, less than, or if they're equal, and then extend to even recording the symbols that go with it. In this unit, we're also going to be spending time ordering with number lines. So same thing, we're providing those scaled number lines for students to use to represent those whole numbers. They might still need some support on determining the range, middle numbers, and how to locate where to put the numbers. And then we're actually plotting the numbers and determining the order from either ascending or descending order.
So on the screen, there's an example of this number line where students have been asked to plot these numbers, and you can see that it makes it really easy for students to tell which number is less than, greater than, or equal to. And then students will extend this knowledge by writing a comparison statement. It is important to note that the comparison statement has 3 numbers, so students do need to be exposed to comparing more than 2 numbers at a time.
Yeah. So then we're moving into recording comparison statements. We've been doing this all along because it's really important to make connections to whatever models we're doing to actually writing those comparison statements. But this is an initial task that you guys did at the beginning. What do you notice about the numbers that you're picking from?
Well, so I noticed that not only am I given a number and I have to fill in the blank, I also noticed that my numbers are in different forms.
So yeah, we're making connections back to the representing numbers in multiple ways standard for 4th grade, and we're using that to help us fill in the comparison statement, find the missing number that's less than. And then we're using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal to represent those comparison statements once again. And then we can even record the comparison statements when we're ordering 3 different numbers. So this kind of summarizes all the different strategies we've been talking about in this video. We have those concrete tools that we're starting with using those base 10 blocks and place value discs. Then we're moving to that representational thinking of using those number lines and providing those scaled number lines. And then we're moving to that abstract comparison statements where we're representing the comparisons using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal to.
Yeah, and definitely when you look at these islands, they have these bridges, and it's really important for students to build strong bridges by going back and forth in between all the concrete, the representation, and the abstract throughout the entire unit.
That's so true. That's how we build those strong bridges, if the kids are able to move flexibly back and forth and make connections. Thank you for joining us for the Math Dive in 5 Compare and Order Numbers 4th grade. We hope you got a lot out of the video, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.